What attracted you about Cindy, considering that you've done 4 films besides this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 different
Yeah.
characters you've played so far.
Yeah, what attracted me to Cindy was, it's just a role that doesn't come around very often, and it was that kind of comedy, you know, that is hard to come by as a young actress. And so when I read it and when I auditioned for it, it just felt so much a part of me, and I had such a desire to do this and make it come to fruition. So
I thought it was one of the most realistic characters.
oh, thank you.
Yeah, very wonderful character. Let me ask you, was it hard for you to identify with her?
Not really. I mean, there were some things that were hard. I'm not really a klutz, but I can be a klutz. You know, I can have fun being a klutz. But where I relate to Cindy is where I'm the kind of person who likes to make people feel good and make them smile and make them happy. And I think Cindy, that's who Cindy is. That's you know, she wants to make Jack like her and happy, and she wants everything to be good, and it's not. It's just not good.
Why is being a virgin such a big deal, or not being a virgin?
Not being a virgin is such a big deal, or being a virgin? I think being a virgin is a very wonderful thing. I think to hold on to that and to share that intimacy with somebody who you truly love is wonderful. I also think sex is wonderful. So it's, you know, it's your preference. Personally, I'll take sex over virginity. You know, it's like I think it's a you know, sexuality is a wonderful way to share yourself with somebody who you love. So
in a way, Cindy is very tender because she's very open, very naive, and she's really searching. Can you tell us what is she searching to be accepted, or for love, or?
I think she just comes from so much good. You know, I think she just wants this to be perfect. I think that's really just her motivation. You know, I think also sometimes I think she's a hopeless romantic, and she wants this to happen. She does want him to fall in love with her so that she can tell her grandchildren that she lost her virginity to the man who, you know, who she married. And I think that's just who she is and how she grew up, you know, very sheltered. And instead of being the sheltered girl who rebels, she was the sheltered girl who enjoyed being sheltered, you know. So that's how I feel.
Let me ask you, in a way, the 80s were very different to the 90s. The way we relate to sex is very, very different. Now it's
very different. I mean, I think there were 2 things in the 80s. You know, I think it was like 83 or 84 when AIDS became, you know, an issue. And before that, it was this mass amount of free love and sex, and even when AIDS came out, it was still happening, and people didn't really understand what it was. And then when they started understanding that people were dying from it and that it was a sexually transmitted disease, a lot of the energy from the 80s came from that fear. At least I think, you know, I mean, from what's been documented and how I feel about how I felt at that time. You know, my mom was very open to me about what was going on, and my brothers, so we were never sort of kept out of the loop of things as young kids. But and now I think sex is becoming something that's much more reserved, and which is in a way a shame, and in a way it's not, because it's something to be shared with people who you really care about, not just people who you are attracted to. You know, not just because you go out and party and get crazy and drunk and you want to, you know, have a fun night. It becomes something more because it has to be safe. So I think that's good.
Great. Let me ask you, being Goldie Hawn's daughter, has it helped you professionally, or, you know, it's like,
no,
it's kind of like a strange question, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it helps. It can get you in the door.
Because I'm assuming you grew up in sets, and so you're very familiar with
the
film industry.
I grew up on sets. It was very familiar. It is like home. the one thing is I don't dread sets. I love them. I mean, there were days when I wasn't working, and I just come because I love the energy. But what'd you ask before? What was
if it helped being Goldie Hawns?
Oh yeah, that I think being no, I don't think that. I don't think it necessarily helps, and I think it can also help. I mean, it's like anything else, whoever, whatever you do as an actor, it's just as difficult in some areas and challenging and just as easy in other areas, Yeah, when I got my foot in the door, but once you're in the door, it's really all up to you, and there are those, I think, expectations when you walk into a room, and sometimes they're not, but sometimes there are, and hopefully, they, you are what they want, and you can help them make a good movie, and hopefully you'll have a nice long career for all of us,
Great, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Nice talking.